crazy. Good afternoon, Sister Helga. I know you told me not to call you sister, but today, let it slide. Let it slide. You'll understand by the end of this. Yo, whoever that is on Facebook. Yo, anonymous Facebook user. Yo. It's been a minute, so I had a second. I ain't gonna be up here long. I'm already stretched out. Split personalities, multiplicities, but I'm singularly focused. Shit ain't sweet, but shit ain't dead either. As long as there's a flicker of a flame, I can always start a fire. When you're going in too many different directions, it can be confusing. Even if you have the same focus for all the directions that you're going in, it's hard for you to give equal attention to every single thing. But if your focus, if your mission, if your goal is all the same, things should work out in the end. But it calls for a lot of rough patches. And patches on top of them patches. And when that happens, eventually, to move forward, you got to fall back. So falling back is what I've had to do. And I'm only falling back so I can move forward. And I've got to be able to move forward in different directions with split personalities, because every situation can't have the same personality. With multiplicity, you got to be doing this all at the same time, everything at the same time. But you can only be singularly focused. So I did come to the conclusion that Brother Shannon who is Shannon McFall? Brother Shannon can't be Kiefer Brotherland. Can't be Keith. They're two different people within the same person. So we're going to start to separate those personalities, because it's a lot easier that way, because I don't have to govern myself when I'm Keith. When I'm Keith, I don't have the restraint that is necessary for me to have when I'm Shannon. Case in point, I don't really deal with children at all when I'm Keith. Keith is for grown folks. When the moniker Kiefer Brotherland came along, I was in a space that was only built for grown people. So, Menace X, peace and love. Brother Antoine, peace and love. So, I'm actually going to create a Kiefer Brotherland Haps because I've created a Kiefer Brotherland Facebook page. And I already had a Kiefer Brotherland IG page. And there's going to be an Uncut Keith YouTube channel. So, I've got to be able to differ Friedman Media and its platforms. I may have 10 podcasts because if I do all what I do here, sometimes I'm actually Kiefer Brotherland within Brother Shannon, and I need to be able to separate the two. It won't take any more time. It'll actually take less time because there's so many different messages within the message sometimes that if I break it up from 45, 50 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, Helga, 5 hours. Maybe Keith over here is just an hour, hour and a half, and Brother Shannon might be 3 to 4 hours. Or maybe Brother Shannon is like an hour and Kiefer Brotherland might be 4 hours. That'd be a lot. You might OD on Keith. Now, you can't OD on marijuana Keith, but you might OD on that Keith. 4 hours is a long time. There's not a lot I can do for 4 hours. When you have personal situations come up, and I've had personal situations come up, you have to tend to those situations. You have to look at those situations and evaluate those situations the best way you can. So I'm doing that. But with that being said, that's a whole nother personality. And Kiefer Brotherland is not a family man. He may have a family, but he wasn't built off of being a family man. So he'll understand. That's why he doesn't come out all the time. That's why he doesn't exist within your presence all the time. So Brother Shannon's always here. And then Keith may just have to show up because there's certain instances. But I'm not constantly talking about cannabis and things within the world of cannabis. And I'm not going to get personal with Keith. I may get political, but I'm not going to get personal. And I don't do personal politics. So what it is what it's going to be. Absolutely. The people closest to you can hold you down, and they can also hold you down. There's some people that hold you down, and then there's some people that just hold you down. So you got to be able to see it from the perspective of They're not trying to be menacing. They're just being them. So the ones that hold you down and the ones that hold you down, they both mean what the fuck they're doing. And you have to take them for what they're doing. You know, it's all good. But, you know, we do hold ourselves down. Individually, we hold ourselves down. I hold myself down the most when I second guess myself. When I second guess my thinking, I second guess my ambition, not actions. I haven't even gotten into the active state yet, but I second guess my ambition when I even know my own focus better than anybody else knows my focus. We hold ourselves back. What's going on, Brother B from Texas? So yeah, we do our thing. And then we do that thing to ourselves. So I'm just, you know, I'm understanding these things a little bit better. And I'm going to continue to. And the messages will stay where the messages are. They'll be more thorough because it won't take me much time to get to the message. If I know I'm coming in one way, then I know the message is going out the other way. Seeing a lot of things that I don't think people are really paying attention to what's going on. So, you know, we're going to talk more about it on the political side. We're going to talk more about it on the personal side. But when I venture over to that side of Keith, I mean, we might get political. But there's really no reason to venture unless something is consistent with what we're talking about. We don't need to get into that type of politics of things. We may get into some politics of cannabis, politics of hemp, different things. Hopefully people have checked out, liked the page on Facebook for Just Another Podcast. We had to do kind of I don't know if they would call it a beta show. No, it was actually real. It wasn't a beta show, but we turned that one into a pilot. We chose to say it's a pilot because we really never got into our topic on the first one. Thought it went really well. You know, for two people who were groomed to be by the equipment and have everything run through the equipment, and we ended up doing it on a cell phone. It was interesting. So we had a good vibe there, you know. Cargo 420 dropped off a delivery. We had a lot of people chiming in the chat room, really active chat room. Shelly Green was a star. She was a star. And we're going to build off of that. You know, I don't need to be a star. I'm 51 years old. If I'm still trying to be a star, there's a problem out here. I don't need to be a star. I'm a star maker. Speaking of making stars, I got to go home see my granddaughter. About to go grab some fish quick. So, and pizza sounds good right about now. Pizza. What kind of pizza you got, Brother B? You one of them Hawaiian pizza eaters? You're a carnivore. Oh, okay. I've seen it. I've never gotten one of those, but I've seen it. I gotta have double bacon. If I'm gonna do the pineapple, I gotta have double bacon to go with it. You know. And it's gotta be that good ham that burns around the edges, you know. Gotta be that good ham. So, yeah, I'm just setting up. I gotta post up, grab this food, and finish cultivating the Kiefer Brotherland pages. I got to build the HAPS one. So hopefully people that have an interest in speaking about cannabis and all things cannabis. We're going to be talking about all things cannabis. You know. I'll smoke more on that than I'll smoke on these. I'm figuring out where my allegiance is with listeners and viewers. And nobody has really condemned me for smoking except trolls. But I think that there's certain things that I want to get into on the Kiefer page talking about cannabis, and it will probably incite me to smoke more. And then things on the Shannon page, I'm going to want to do more reading, so I'll be able to smoke less. Well, yeah, there's a few things that we want to get off our chest. Shannon and Keith. Oh, this is something I got to... Hold on a second. What was this? Oh, yeah, man. So, my next video will be Brother Shannon. We're going to talk about this situation, about what happened here right in Ann Arbor. A high school football coach having to cancel a game because he feared for the safety of his players happened right here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Oh, yeah. Ann Arbor, Michigan. So we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that it couldn't have just happened just with these people. It's happening in other places too. We'll talk about that. But until then, we had 20 minutes. It's probably about 5 minutes longer. I want to get out about 14. So it probably end up at 15. So, you know. I don't start talking for 2 minutes. It's like 17 minutes. Not as bad if you don't count the intro. But for y'all count the intro. It's minutes. But wasn't nobody here at minute 0 anyway, so it don't matter. So you really weren't here as long as I was. So stop your complaining. We'll talk again, and we're going to talk about that situation. Because even though it's my rival high school that I, grew up in the same town with, I'm fucking with him on this. And hopefully somebody knows that brother who is the coach and can get me his number. I want to talk to him on the platform. This needs to get out. I think the game in general has gotten soft, but I also believe they wear less equipment and the players aren't protected as well. from an equipment standpoint, I don't believe technique as taught as it was back in the day. And did I say yes, the game has gotten soft? It's bullshit. Some of the shit that goes on in football, I mean, now they got this thing about taunting. I mean, that's part of athletics. You know. And I guess this school has been known to do all this, and nobody's ever said anything about it. Now you had a coach that canceled a game. Because you got to look at the dichotomy in that. Playing a game, the most violent game out, and he chose to take his kids out of the fray of playing the most violent game. Where me as a coach, I would have been like, you know what? They start calling you nigga, we're going to start kicking their ass. You know, we might have had to take that L one way or the other. But ain't nobody going to outfight us. But I appreciate and I commend that brother for his restraint and him canceling that game. Or pulling his kids back, saying we ain't playing shit. But we can't let that ride as a community. I'm sure I know somebody's kid that plays on that football team. I don't know right now, but I gotta. So therefore, we have a connection. But this brother that's the coach, if anybody knows him, can get me his number, I appreciate that. I might have to reshare it so everybody knows, because, you know, I'm just going to put in there, I'm looking for the Pioneer football coach's number. If you got it, inbox it to me. And then I'll take it from there. You don't need to do nothing else. You don't need to sell me. You don't need to sell who I am. I'll let them know. I sell me better than anybody. Y'all be good. One love. And you're right, X. Pay you a high wage, but we're going to tell you what to do.